Hi, this is Felipe Sir, your favorite censored channel.
It seems that YouTube has announced a new bylaw regarding controversial and conspiracy videos.
No, I mean, just kidding aside. I wanted to put together this video because, part of a recurring theme that has happened in this channel is that a lot of videos will essentially or just random ideas that, don't necessarily have backing at the time, they seem to come true in some strange ways. Not to try to say that in an egotistical way, but just to say that why are we being censored? Censorship aside, I wanted to highlight another episode where prior to creating Second Earth Alternative, I had created a channel called Second Earth News. Now, coincidentally, this was only about a month before the mainstream media started coming hard and talking about fake news. The only thing is almost everything that we said in our channel outside of the opinion pieces, well, it ended up being true. So how do you call that fake news? Now, Jimmy Dore seems to have kind of caught on to some of the ideas that we had reported all the way back in 2016. And I just wanted to kind of highlight Jimmy Dore's show in conjunction with what we had said all the way back 3 years ago, essentially. Now, my wife and I have purchased the Jimmy Dore show for October 20th, which is going to be in Hollywood. So if you are around the area, I will be there. So without further ado, let's unveil some corruption.
Assange, and he's gonna tell you this guy's got more integrity in his pinky than fucking CNN has in their whole cock. Anyway, I don't know if CNN has a cock.
CNN that completely ignored him. Look, don't think that we don't know, CNN, that you guys are playing this. We understand what you guys are doing. This is not just this little game that, oh yeah, we're being fair, we're not really doing it. We know you guys are not being fair. Don't lie to us.
This before 3 years ago, I showed that Hillary Clinton did an internal poll before the election, and they found out that her biggest vulnerability was her connection with Russia and that uranium deal that she did with them, because they got $142 million into the Clinton Foundation, just like Dylan Ratigan just said. They do all these deals, they get all this money into their foundation. They got $142 million over that uranium one thing, and people go, oh, that's been debunked. It hasn't been debunked. That's fucking corruption of the highest order, $142 million.
Josh Schwerin said the emails released are a political attack on the Clintons. Would you want to cry about it? Or should we just blame the Russians again? Because let's not forget that you, Hillary, did sign off to give away 1/5 of the US's stockpile uranium reserves to Putin, while Bill was making millions giving speeches in Russia. So yes, let's not forget about the Russians.
Corruption of the highest order, $142 million. All right, so now he's going to tell you the same thing. Watch this.
Hillary Clinton has done quite well strategically to try and draw connection between Trump and Russia because she has so many connections of her own. Now, my analysis of Trump and Russia is that there is no substantial connection.
Now, whether this is a direct misinformation campaign by the Russians remains to be seen, as the hacker claims to be on his own. According to Wikileaks founder Julian Assange, based on other information that they managed to acquire, he believes, the owner of Wikileaks, that there's more than ample evidence to indict Hillary Clinton.
One particular instance is the approval by Secretary Clinton of selling 20% of the US uranium reprocessing rights to a Russian company to be exported to Russia.
Hillary, as Secretary of State, authorized Putin to get 20% of our uranium reserves in Wyoming, while Bill was making millions of dollars making speeches to Russia.
So at that time, a large donation was made by those Russian interests to the Clinton Foundation.
$142 million. All right, so I'll stop it there. And, I just want to say, once I played a drinking game where we had to take a shot every time WikiLeaks had to retract something they published. And, we were all 100% sober.
And that this is coming from a man which Hollywood produced a biographical feature appropriately called The Fifth Estate.
All right, fire.
Take a look.
U.S. military helicopter firing on unarmed reporters.
12 million people have seen that video. You still want to tell me you think it's just a little website? They have an agenda?
Truth, justice, the American way.
Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. But if you give him a mask, he will tell you the truth. Two people and a secret. The beginning of all conspiracy. More people and more secrets. But if we could find one moral man, one whistleblower, someone willing to expose those secrets, that man could topple the most powerful and most repressive of regimes.
Company A, which is the Podesta Group, and Company B, which is Mercury, to lobby the United States on behalf of Yanukovych and the Party of Regions and the government of Ukraine. So Hillary Clinton's campaign manager's lobbying group was lobbying for the Kremlin inside the United States. That's the ties that Julian Assange is talking about. Also the $142 million. Also, do you know the biggest payout Bill Clinton ever got for one speech was $500,000? And you know who gave it to him? The Kremlin Bank gave it to him.
That was the first time he ever spoke there, by the way.
And what do they teach you? What does Machiavelli say? Whatever your biggest weakness is, you throw it on your opponent. And that's exactly what they did. And she had the help of the intelligence community and the media, which the CIA has infiltrated. They all go right along with it, all right?
If this was the Wizard of Oz, then Hillary is the Wicked Witch of the West. It's not just because she laughs like the witch, but if you remember in the Wizard of Oz, the witch wishes to obtain the silver shoes to increase her power. And one of her characteristics is that most of her powers resides in the creatures that she controls. Example, the pack of wolves, the swarm of bees, flocks of crows, the Winkies, and an army of winged monkeys. Not to mention the poppies, which will draw you to interminable sleep. Thank you, rigged press.
Who worked for Bill Clinton his whole time in the White House, too. And so now watch him get taken down by the minor bird.
Do you find it odd that there's been so much attention on the Trump campaign and the Trump associates and potential collusion with Russians when in fact it's really the Democrats who have deeper and stronger ties to Russia? I mean, John, I've got to ask you about your own situation, your ties to Russian entities. You joined the board of a small energy company in 2011. 2 months later, a Russian entity directly funded by the Kremlin invested $35 million in the company. You were given 75,000 shares in a Russian company, which you failed to disclose when you became an Obama associate.
Maria. So Obama is pressuring the Ukraine to not investigate Hunter Biden, but to investigate Manafort. The exact shit that they're accusing Trump of doing right fucking now.
Telling the State Department or the FBI, lay off Hillary ahead of the election. I mean, that's what they suggest.
You know, the top secret emails, top secret, on her server were sent to her by him. So the president has a stake in this. He does not want this case to be tried.
Right.
Worst mistake?
Probably failing to plan for the day after what I think was the right thing to do in intervening in Libya.
While Hillary Clinton was invading in Libya, Bill Clinton was back at home raising money for the Clinton Foundation with Libya leaders and powerful French nationals. After the ousting of Gaddafi in Libya, the French quickly took over the oil fields in Libya.
Now, all that is true, and now watch what he says.
It's not true. I fully disclose in this.
Podesta's own emails that Hillary Clinton bragged about being invited into Putin's inner sanctum. We also know that Podesta did exercise 75,000 stock options as a result, gained 75,000 common shares as a result of being a member of an executive board of an energy company, Juul Unlimited.
There's new emails that were obtained by Citizens United that basically showed the inseparable relationship between the State Department, Hillary Clinton, and the Clinton Foundation. David Bozie, president of Citizens United, stated that Hillary Clinton's senior staff at the State Department routinely worked with the Clinton Foundation to reward big donors with special access and favors for 4 years. That's why all the mail senators have endorsed Hillary Clinton. They wanted special access to Bill's Rolodeck. Flip to letter B, you get no Bernie, just babes. Okay, I know, I should stop. He was a former president. At the very least, he deserves the benefit of the mouth. My God. Are there kids watching this?
2016, a contractor for the Democratic National Committee pressed his embassy to find any Russian dirt on Trump or Manafort that might reside in Ukraine intelligence files. They were fucking doing it. Yes! The DNC contractor asked Shali's team to try to persuade Ukraine's president at the time, Petro Poroshenko, to make a statement disparaging Manafort when the Ukraine leader visited the United States during the 2016 election. Shali said his embassy rebuffed both requests because it recognized they were improper efforts to get a foreign government to try to influence the election against Trump and for Hillary Clinton. So there it is. Again, it's fucking the exact opposite. Often, what people think, God created us in his own image and likeness. We created God in our own fucking image and likeness. And this is exactly what happened here. They invented Russiagate because they're the fucking Russiagators. They're the one in bed with Russia, and they're the corrupt motherfuckers doing all these deals with energy companies.
I mean, you have to understand, this woman will do whatever it takes to get elected. She is a warmongering, power-hungry individual. She doesn't care about the value of human life, as was shown in Libya intervention in Benghazi. She just wants to win. It doesn't matter if it's dirty politics. It doesn't matter if she has to scratch somebody's eye out. She will do it.
Elizabeth Warren's entire candidacy is predicated on rooting out corruption and shutting down the interests of the powerful. But she can't condemn this in full. What does it actually tell us about her?
Well, here she is. Here she is. You saw this. Here she is. They asked her. So her whole thing is anti-corruption. She came out with her anti-corruption plan. She has a plan for the anti-corruption, and she's asked about this.
For two ethics plans, could you say whether or not under a Warren administration would your vice president's child be allowed to serve on a board of a foreign company?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I have to go back and look at the details.
Elizabeth Warren, sweet woman, fought against Hillary Clinton regarding the crime bill, always been progressive, but under the modern progressive eyes.
You know what, Jimmy? I thought she had to confer with her tribal leaders.
Oh.
It's a theory. It was just my theory.
And if you want to talk about a scandal and you want to talk about $6 billion being missing, here's some Haitians protesting Hillary Clinton appearance at a Barnes & Noble in New York City.
Ladies, let's break money. $6 billion. $6 billion.
That's awesome. God bless those people. This is, you want to talk corruption? We can go all day. That's what they did in Haiti.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Bill Clinton astutely defended his Clinton Foundation by this insightful quote: "We're trying to do good things." Yes, of course. I mean, that's exactly what he told the Haitian people just before you wasted their disaster relief money with the help of Tony Rodham, which undersupplies housing to the people of Haiti for double the cost and left Haiti utterly defenseless.
$50,000 gig with the Ukraine gas company months after you backed a coup there, and a lucrative deal in China after you flew him there on Air Force Two. I can't think of a worse person to try to challenge Trump on integrity.
One particular set of emails revealed 3 prominent Hillary donors: Bob McCann, who's the former president of the Swiss wealth management company UBS, Dr. Judith Rodin, who's the former president of the Rockefeller Foundation, and Hekmak Ersek, who's the CEO of Western Union, who are all invited to a special engagement with Chinese President Hu Jintao, January 2011.
Talented journalists out there, and believe me, the corporate media does not want to hire them. Right?
That's always that's in the standard reply from anyone who's about to critique the media on CNN. Hillary Clinton did much better in states where it's easier to commit fraud. Wow! This is me shocked. So I started wondering why you haven't heard anything about this on the mainstream media.
It just so happens that Hillary Clinton tends to win those states overwhelmingly. And for the states in which does have a paper ballot. It just so happens that she tends to lose those states at an unusual number. Now let me tell you the type of number we're talking about. We're talking about a standard deviation of 3.74. If you were to look at this mathematical analysis, if you were to look at the formulas and how they calculated, the capability of that happening by just coincidence is less than 1 in 10,000. I happen to have insider information that Bill Clinton used that exact same excuse with Monica Lewinsky. Yes, Billy, but trying to do good things just isn't good enough sometimes. We know the end of the story. Placid, Bill instead offers his cigar.